I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Audible and visible.
I think all the speakers are here as well.
Arun, shall we start?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nikhil, it's your turn.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So, very good evening, Toastmasters and my dear friends. I welcome you all to this great 577th meeting. So, Toastmaster International is a non-profitable organization which was initiated by a leader called Ralph C. Smedley with the sole motive to improve communication and leadership skills amongst the members across the globe. Toastmaster International has 15,900 clubs and more than 3,45,000 members in 142 countries. Chennai Wordsmiths is one amongst them. Toastmaster International works on a four-pillar of value, namely RISE, R for respect, I for integrity, S for service, and E for excellence. The mission of our club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience so that the members could develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So it's time to mention the code of conduct. People who are going to talk today are asked not to talk about sex, religion, and politics. Since this is an online meeting, we have a separate set of rules and regulations for this. Number one, I request all the members to mute your audio if you're not going to talk, as it might distract the speaker. Rule number two, use the chat with all option to convey any message or special mentions, if any. Rule number three, although it is a virtual meeting, please do refrain from using your mobile phones during the meeting. Rule number four, please do not interrupt while a speaker is speaking, as it might distract or interrupt the flow of the meeting. So with that, let's get into the meeting. Like the regular meeting, each meeting is will be headed by a special person called the presiding officer. And today's presiding officer is a mechanical engineer of a Toastmaster club, the Toastmasters Shruti.
Thank you, Nikhil. Hi, and a very good evening to all present here, and welcome to the 577th meeting. I take a moment to recognize the dignitaries present here. We have our area director and club member Toastmaster Balamurugan joining us today. Welcome, sir. So to start the meeting with a small thought for the day. One night, 4 college students stayed at late partying, even though they were well aware that they had a test next day. So the next day, they didn't want to attend the test and hence came up with a plan to bunk. Then later, each student rolled around in dirt and went to the teacher's office. They told the teacher that they had gotten a flat tire yesterday, like the night before, and they spent the entire night pushing their car back to the campus. The teacher listened, and to the students' delight, he offered a retest 3 days later. On the day of the retest, the students went to the teacher's office, and the teacher told them that each student has to sit in a separate room to take up the test. The students were okay with it as they had enough time to prepare for the exam. But apparently the test consisted only of 2 questions. One question, the first question was, what is your name? For which the teacher gave 1 point. And the second question was, which tire was flat? For that he gave 99 points. And there were 4 options for this: front, left, front, right, and rear left. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have to really understand as a moral of the story is that aside from making wise decisions, you always need to take up responsibilities for your actions. This means that not blaming other people for our mistake, not complaining about the reality. So with this thought for the day, I would like to announce that meeting, I would like to open meeting number 577. So for the benefit of guests present here, we seem to have 2 guests here. Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club was started, or it had the first demo meeting in the year of 2006, and later the next year, 2007, July month, it was chartered. And ever since then till now, it has been a long, wonderful journey, and it has produced exemplary speakers and outstanding leaders. So we shall now have a short guest introduction, wherein kindly tell your name, what do you do, and how you came to know about today's meeting. We can start with guest Radha, who is joining us for the first time.
Hi everyone, I hope I'm audible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I'm so much desperate about Toastmaster very from a long period, but I didn't get a chance to learn or to participate in them. Along with me, my son is also there. He's 11 years old. He's also very much interested. We both are more talkative. We wanted to talk more sensibly, so we thought Toastmaster is the right point where we can learn and equip ourselves. That's all. I work in a private organization, and my son is in 6th grade.
Great, ma'am. Welcome once again, and we hope that you enjoy the meeting.
Thank you.
Can I hear it from Toastmaster Anthony, who is joining us today's meeting all the way from Mexico? Hi, sir. Can you just introduce about yourself?
Yes, good afternoon or evening. My name is Anthony Hogan. I'm an 11-year member of Toastmasters. My home club is Rhino Business Club out of San Francisco, California, where I'm an honorary lifetime member. And my current club is Mexican English Toastmasters Club in Mexico City. So actually, I think this is the second time I've been here, and I was invited by, I think you had a joint meeting with Deloitte Toastmasters Club in Mexico City. So I jotted down the information, and when I was available, I definitely knew I would like to come back, and today I'm available. And I have another meeting, the Mexican English Toastmasters Club, right after this.
Great, so we're glad to have you, and welcome once again. So as we members know, and for the benefit of guests, every Toastmasters meeting will be started by the special person who is termed as the Toastmaster of the day, who is basically the master of ceremony for today. And today in specific, there's this really special person whom has been a real inspiration to many of us. He has completed his DTM journey in a very short span of 3 years, and simultaneously he has shown a wonderful growth in the leadership journey as well. So with great pride, I invite Toastmaster Balamurugan on screen, please.
Happy evening. Thank you. Thank you, President. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Happy evening, Toastmasters and the guests. So I am your Toastmaster of the day today, and the theme of today's meeting is Vital Fews and Trivial Many, which is the Pareto Principle 80-20. Why this theme is being chosen just now is in the current scenario, COVID-19, it taught a lot for us. So in fact, my credit card bill is almost to 30% only. Month on month, I used to pay a huge hefty amount, and if you see for the past 2 months, it's only 20 or 30%. That means I'm consuming only the vital fews, not trivial many. We used to spend a lot during the normal days. COVID-19 taught us what are vital fews and what are trivial many. Now it has enlightened us. Similarly, in our life, when we approach anything, if you want to pursue anything, if you want to solve any problem, definitely 80-20 principle is boon for us. With that, I want to give an introduction for the benefit of whoever not come across Pareto. If you move to the next slide, please. Yeah. Wilfredo Pareto, he was born in France, 1848, and he's an Italian. He's an engineer basically, and also economist and socialist. He's very strong in microeconomics and socioeconomics. He brought this 80-20 rule. So when there are only any problem, it has got causes 20% and 80% effects. When we address the causes of 20%, we can easily address the full problem. You can go to the next slide. It will have some explanations. Yeah. So here introduced income distribution. When there are 100,000 pounds He mentioned that 20,000 pounds can be collected from the rich and it can be distributed for the remaining 80% of the population. Through that, he brought 80-20 principle, whereas it has been applied in various fields, especially engineering or problem solving, or even all the Six Sigma black belt or green belt. You can see Pareto is very much important when we are drilling down the vital fuse to attack. So 20% efforts, 80% results. If you want to focus the life in our growth, instead of spending leisurely 100%, we can focus 20% on value addition things like Toastmasters meeting, attending for a weekly once. Definitely it will have its own reflection in our daily life. So Pareto can be applied over here also. Even within the Toastmasters meeting, we can apply 20% where we want to focus, where we want to become like a great communicator or very good leader. So it's all about how you focus on those things will give results. 20% focus is very much important, and the remaining 80% will be taken care. That is how the Pareto principle is. So I'm applying as much as possible in all the various aspects of my life. So I'm a black belt guy, so definitely I'm very much attracted towards Pareto principle. So with that, for the benefit of the guests, any Toastmaster meeting will have 3 segments: a prepared speeches segment, table topic, and evaluation of the prepared speeches. So today we have a special person to introduce our team, tag team, timer, accounter, grammarian. I would like to invite one special person. He is an IITian and a great engineer by education, Toastmaster Arun. I want to him on board to introduce tag team players. Arun?
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is Arun Annamalai, the general evaluator for today's meeting. As the name suggests, I will take care of the general evaluation of the meeting. I will assess the entire meeting right from the start till the completion of the final evaluation segment. And I'll give my report on what went well and also recommendations for enhancement, if any. To assist me, I have 2 wonderful teams. One is the team of evaluators who will evaluate each one of the prepared speeches. The second is the tag team. The T in tag stands for timer, and today's timer is a person who has scaled one of the toughest peaks as far as academics is concerned, the CA finals. And what is even more inspiring is that he is now guiding many others to scale the peak as well, within just a year of his completion. On this note, I'll invite Toastmaster Abishek to brief on the role of a timer.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Time is money, Benjamin Franklin once said. So as a CA, I'm concerned about money, and so does I'm concerned about time. As a Toastmasters, we are professional and we would like to have a professionalism in our meeting, and so does to start on time and end on time. I will be making note of time taken by each speaker and also the role players, and I will be presenting my report at the end when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Timer Abhishek. The A in tag stands for our counter, and today's our counter is Toastmaster Aishwarya, who loves volunteering, reading books, painting, and traveling. When asked about the theme, she said, and I quote her, "We can efficiently manage both work and relationships using Pareto. It need not be 80-20. It can be 70-30 or 90-10 as well." On this note, let me invite Toastmaster Aishwarya to brief on the R counter's role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as R counter today is to count the number of unnecessary sounds or repetitive words you may use while you're speaking. I will be observing and taking notes of words such as you know, like, and, but. These are the filler words that affect the effectiveness of any speech. I will present my report when I'm being called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aishwarya. The G in tag stands for grammarian, and today's grammarian is distinguished Toastmaster Arun Sridhar. He is a very experienced Toastmaster. When asked about the theme, he said that he used the Pareto principle in college to study the vital few questions to pass the exam. On this note, let me invite the grammarian for today's meeting, distinguished Toastmaster Arun Sridhar, to explain his role and also to introduce the word of the day.
Thanks, Arvind. The role of the word master grammarian is to introduce the word of the day and encourage its use in the meeting, as well as to note down good and not so good usages of English grammar through the meeting and call it out at the end. I will only call out the good usages by name. The bad usage of grammar will not be pointed out by name. The word of the day today is indispensable, and the meaning is absolutely necessary. Usage could be, he made himself indispensable to the Toastmasters community. I encourage all of you to use the word of the day, indispensable. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Arun Sridhar. This brings us to the end of the tag team briefing. I'll be back for the final session, which is the evaluation session. Until then, have a wonderful meeting ahead. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you for that wonderful introduction of tag team, and it is indispensable to have tag team and the evaluator in any of the meetings. And we would be moving into indispensable section, that is prepared speeches, vital fews. There are 3 vital fews here in this. The efforts are from prepared speeches and table topic and evaluation. First speaker, the prepared speaker, Toastmaster Anusha. When I asked about the theme of 80-20, she said, even in among the friends, and she wants me to introduce like this: adaptable, neutral, unique, social, helpful, and ardent. Within 6 words, we asked the speakers to introduce themselves, how to introduce themselves. So they gave 6 words. View on the theme. Sorry. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Some noise is there. Hello?
Maybe Arun can mute all. Now I think you can unmute yourself.
Barasa, can you unmute? Yeah.
Thank you, Arun. Shall I start from the beginning?
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll rewind. This Toastmaster, the speaker number 1, Toastmaster Anusha, is an adaptable, neutral, unique, social, helpful, and ardent person. And when I asked the theme, she said the 80-20 principle has an immense value in our personal life as well, as it helps to identify the most important people. So she's applying 80-20 rule even in choosing the friends and moving with the people. I think all the members of Chennai Wordsmiths is coming under 20% in your life. So we are not in the 80% bracket, I believe. So with that, I request Anusha to step in as a speaker. The title is To Lead. Anusha, a timer, please note down 5 to 7 minutes is the speech, and it is the project 1.
And I should be giving the purpose and objective of the speech.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Bala. So Anusha is attempting her level 2 project 1 under Pathways Persuasive Influence. So understanding your leadership style is the title. The title of her specific speech today is To Lead. The purpose of the project is to understand different leadership styles that exist and also to identify what is her primary style. And the objective of the speech for Anusha is to share his or her primary leadership style or a general introduction to leadership styles. I think Toastmaster Anusha has chosen to talk about her primary leadership style. So all the best, Anusha. Timer, please note, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Anusha to lead.
Toastmaster Anusha to lead.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. For the first time in my life, I was riding a scooty with a co-passenger. The cool air blowing against my face gave me the thrill and excitement. Unmindful of the warnings of my co-passenger, I raced the speed and Toastmasters at 60 kilometers per hour, I felt like the queen of the world. All my excitement turned into a nightmare in a fraction of a second. I was overtaking a car but failed to notice a lorry which was racing up against me in the opposite direction. Within no time, I saw my bike getting sandwiched between the car and the lorry. And luckily, we had a narrow escape from a tragic accident. After the lorry passed, I stopped and pushed my vehicle towards the corner of the road. A million questions were running in my mind. What if my bike was smashed in that accident? What if the person behind me got hurt? What if I was crippled for life? What if I died? In this adverse situations, all the negative thoughts crept into me. I sulked with self-guilt. I decided I didn't have it in me and declared that I don't want to drive anymore in my life. The co-passenger was patiently listening and said in a calm voice, "Arun, nothing happened. Calm down. You handled the tense situation so well. You're excellent driving skills. Come on, start. Let's go home." When I was on the verge of quitting, these positive words of reassurance gave comfort to me and, of course, confidence to me. This made me start my scooty once again. And friends, it did not stop there. Now I can ride a scooty, a bike, a car, all like a pro. In any critical situations, these positive words from my co-passenger will always resonate in my mind. That co-passenger is my dad. Not only in driving, whenever our family goes through the down phase, he provides moral support, uplifts the family with his positivity. Without knowing the meaning of his affiliative leadership style, he exhibited it in each and every phase of his life. Consciously or unconsciously, I inculcated this same leadership style from my dad. No wonder when I attempted the Toastmasters questionnaire, I scored high in affiliative leadership style. There's a memorable incident in my life where I applied this affiliative leadership style. My friend Janani burned the midnight oil day in and day out for 1 year to crack CAT exam. She wanted to get admission in the best business school of the country. She was completely devastated to learn that her CAT score was not enough to get admission. She came to me, cried her heart out. "Anusha, I failed after giving my 100%. Maybe I don't have it in me. I'm a failure." That moment when Janani said, I saw the 14-year-old reflection of myself who said I could never drive and I was a failure. Just like how my dad lifted my spirits with his words, I told Janani, if you had a better score, maybe you'd have gone to some IIM. With your sincere effort, next year you would get into IIM Ahmedabad, the dream IIM of every CAT aspirant. Trust me, this small setback is going to be your biggest blessing in disguise. Hearing this, Janani slowly came back to her normal self. 1 year later, Janani calls me. Tring, 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 tring. Anusha, your words came true. I got into IIM Ahmedabad. Thank you for making me see the light at the end of the tunnel. Inspiration from my dad's leadership helped me understand the emotional needs of people around me. Thus, I became the reliable person to all my friends. Whenever they feel depressed, they would always come to my room, believing my consoling words would give them hope and lift their spirits. Not only in their personal life, affiliative leadership is highly helpful even in our workplaces because the core quality of this leadership is emotional intelligence. In the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, he said to reap success, emotional quotient (EQ) of a leader should be higher than his IQ. EQ helps leaders evade conflicts and to create harmony. Take any leadership style, democratic, pace-setting, or bureaucratic. The highest standard of performance can be obtained only when leaders channelize the emotions of the whole team in the positive way. The emotional intelligence, a triad of affiliative leader, is in fact the heart and core soul of all other leadership styles. As the saying goes, leaders are not born, they are made. Any leadership style can be cultivated by anyone, provided we have the willpower. The silver lining is affiliative leadership is natural, as it's easy for us to socially connect with others. But the catch is the degree of affiliation varies among the people. A normal person would succumb to his emotions and get frustrated in a critical situation. In contrast, a true affiliative leader will harness that emotion to sail through the most stressful situation with his culture of positivity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's realize the affiliative leader present in each and every one of us, and let's unleash its full potential to lead. Thank you.
Thanks, Anusha, for that wonderful speech. The key takeaway from your speech on vital few aspect is accelerator, brake, and clutch whenever we drive on the road. So that is the vital few, which is the takeaway from your speech. Thank you. Moving to the speaker number 2. This person is our Vice President Education currently, Toastmaster Arun. Can you please go to the next slide? I'm seeing only Anusha's. Yeah. So he's a lead embedded engineer at Logitech, a multinational company. And when I asked about the team, he spelled these words. Every project that I worked on, always 80-20 rule applies. Whenever he works on the project, he applies the 80-20 rule to make it vital fuse. And according to him, one who works the best at the last moment for the utmost quality becomes successful. We can't be complacent even at 99% job done, because there are many examples of people who lost than one at last minute complacency. So he touched upon the complacency with the vital fuse. Really, Arun, that is wonderful view on the theme. I would request Toastmaster Sasikumar. He is the sales professional from ExxonMobil. I would like him to read out the project objectives. Sasikumar, Toastmaster Sasikumar on the board.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. Toastmaster Arun Kumar is attempting level 3 under Pathways Innovative Planning. Project 3, Know Your Sense of Humor. The purpose of this project is to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. Timer, please note the time is between 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Thanks, Toastmaster Sasikumar. I would like to welcome speaker number 2, Arun Kumar. That five-letter word, Arun Kumar.
A Dutchman, 69 years of old, gave a legal battle to lower his age by 20 years so that he can date on Tinder. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Aging is a graceful thing to be accepted with all dignity. But how many of us can accept it when somebody tells you 35 years old when you're already 29? Just imagine that. I'm going to give you some undeniable clues of feeling old even when you're in just 30s. Few months ago, a good-looking girl came into our club. She was very pretty. It was a Dimaki Batti Jalao moment for me, and all of a sudden, something popped up in my mind. That Toastmasters always says that the guests are the number one at Toastmasters club meeting. You meet them, you greet them, you treat them well, just to ensure that you treat them at the end of the day. And you show them all the qualities that you possess. You give your motivation, you give your learnings, and try to persuade them to become the part of the club. And in this process, you just do it for two purposes. One, the DCP points, and the other, membership. Don't judge me here, dear Toastmasters. I did not tweet for anything else. But as a voice I heard, "What is the procedure to join this club, uncle?" I just froze for 2 seconds there. And uncle was echoing in my mind for about 2 minutes from then on. And just imagine Toastmasters, this 5-letter word, uncle or auntie, is something that you cannot express to any people around you at all. It is one of the most dangerous word, and I strongly believe that this word has to be taken out from the dictionary. But as Toastmasters, you keep your calm head and you think that you can handle all the situation. So once I got this call of uncle, that was a table topic moment for me. And I thought slowly, and then with smile in my face and really hurt in my heart, I said, "Look, you do not call anybody as uncle or auntie in Toastmasters. You do not call anybody sir or madam. You just call everyone Toastmaster or Madam Toastmasters." And internally, I thanked Abraham Zakaria, who always insists us to call everyone the Toastmaster or Madam Toastmasters. Sir, I completely agree and understand why you felt that. And now that's the clue number one, my dear Toastmasters. When somebody calls you uncle, that's when you realize that you are hitting your 30s. And clue number two. Now, before going that, I have a question. So just imagine a 40-year-old lady, when can she call a 50-year-old man uncle? Can somebody unmute and say, can a 40-year-old lady call somebody who is 50 years old? No. But when a 20-year-old girl calls 30-year-old boy or man uncle, it is acceptable everywhere. What a stupidity. It doesn't seem logical at all, my dear Toastmasters. And the next clue that I have is, you have tons of new apps: Tinder, Snapchat, Instagram, PUBG, TikTok, and all these mobile phones apps are there. But when you take up your mobile phone, this mobile phone has nothing but, it's already a 5-year-old mobile phone. And when a 9-year-old niece or nephew comes home and scrolls the app up and down, all that they can find out is Economics Times, NDTV Profit, and probably some news channels. When they see that and they ask you an intimidating question, "Uncle, is this a smartphone?" That's when you realize that you are becoming uncle, my dear Toastmasters. You are technologically handicapped there. And going on to the next clue, as 20-year kid, you really wanted to enjoy games that you wanted to play. So whenever I get an opportunity to play cricket, I always take up the cricket ball, and I always swing my arms and I say, I want to bowl the first over. Captain, please give me the ball. And whenever I get the opportunity to bat, I always swing my bat and I'm already ready even before the inning starts. But as you reaches your 30, what happens? You always keep your hands like this and you say, no, I'm not going to bat until the last over. Probably I'll go there as fourth down or fifth down, or become like Dhoni, where you want to just finish off things. And when you're given an opportunity to bowl, you say like, there are youngsters to bowl, probably let them bowl, and like I might bowl little later. That's when you see that you are becoming physically weak, my dear Toastmaster. That's your another clue. And now just remember, when you were 20s, your bike speeds were like 80s and 90s and 100s, and your weight was in 40s and 50s and 60s. But look at now, your age is 80s and your weight is 80s and 90s and 100s, and your bike speed become 40s and 50s and 60s in your scooty or Activa. That's when you realize you are again becoming weak. Now, just remember one thing. When I was a kid, I was always thinking that I wanted to become like a daddy. I wanted to become my daddy because I always thought my daddy was a hero. But when you reach your 30, you put your heads on face and say like, I've become my daddy. I've exactly become my daddy. I did not achieve anything. And all that you achieved was you just become literally a daddy. That's it. Okay. But dear Toastmasters, just see this. Age is just a number. What is important is, in your mind, how do you feel? This Dutchman, 69 years old, he felt that he is 20 years younger and he's just 49 years old. And he put a lawsuit saying that I want my age to be changed because you see, you can change your gender, you can change your name. Why can't you change your age? So age is, although it's a number, it is just a number, and it is all about you thinking that you are young at heart. So the 5-letter word that I was referring to you is YOUNG, young. Always feel young. At 20, when you said, people laughed. At 30, when people say, people listen to you and respect you. Only one person does not do it, and that's your wife. At 20, you were impulsive and reactive in nature. At 30, you become patient and proactive because you are married. At 20, you had confusions. At 30, you still have confusions, my dear Toastmasters, but you handle it with maturity. So with that, I say 30 is a beautiful time that you can live happily. There is a lot to learn and enjoy. Over to you, Toastmaster Uncle Balamurugan.
Thank you. Thank you. The vital few from your speech are vital itself, 5-letter word. We should embrace youngness, young, YUNG, maybe youth, and drop uncle. The term uncle, will drop it. Not only from the dictionary, we'll drop it from our mind as well. So no uncle. Moving to the speaker number 3. He is a special person who has got tremendous experience in terms of IT, and he's a manager in IT. I would like to talk about his project by DTM Abraham Zakaria. Is the evaluator, father of wordsmiths. On board, please.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Objective of this speech are develop an entertaining, dramatic talk about an experience or incident. Include vivid imaginary characters and dialogue. Deliver the talk in an entertaining manner. Time 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Abraham Zakaria.
Mohan has lost his power and he is not able to connect now. Probably we can have Maithili ma'am and probably then continue with.
Okay. So why don't you put the page or slide? Possible? Speaker number 4, Toastmaster Maithili Srinivas. I think. Sorry, don't show this slide. I think it was not updated. Maybe missed it. Maithili ma'am, as an introduction, we all know Toastmaster Maithili Srinivas, very, we can say Iron Lady, always in Toastmasters. She is the one who is the founder of Gavel Club in Annanagar, functioning very fine. She is very much liked by the kids, the gavel speakers, and also the Toastmasters, the Chennai Wordsmiths ex or past area director of B4. So she is going to present her ACG 7, the speech towards the DTM journey. I think Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran can walk us through the objectives of this project.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, one and all present here. My target speaker, Toastmaster Maithili, is attempting an indispensable speech, I would say. Why I say indispensable is she's going to, with this speech and the 3 more speeches, she's going to be the DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. Wishing her good luck. Her project title is, here you go, the Radio Talk Show. The objectives of her speech are: present a positive image of you and your company or organization on a simulated radio talk show. Number 2, prepare a talk designed to build goodwill toward an organization by presenting factual information. Number 3, understand the dynamics of a successful radio talk show. Number 4, prepare for the questions that may be asked of you during the radio interview. It is a host and guest show. That's what the speaker has requested me to convey to the listeners. It is a host and guest show, and we have Toastmaster Sajid, who will be hosting this radio talk show. And the time allotted for her speech, let me tell you, 3 to 5 minutes for the presentation, plus 2 to 3 minutes for question and Q&A, questions and answers. Good, all the best to the Toastmaster Maithili, my speaker. Thank you very much. Let me look forward to this. Thanks a lot.
So thank you, Evaluator Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran. Should we invite an interviewer, Toastmaster Sajid, in the speech? Because
Yes,
last
yes.
minute.
Yes.
Hi, Toastmaster Sajid is an excellent Toastmaster of Chennai Wordsmiths, very and energetic. He's not an uncle. He's an uncle for Gavel's Club, maybe not for Chennai Wordsmiths Club. And I would like to invite Toastmaster Sajid to perform as a first part of the speech.
Thank you, Bala sir, for that nice introduction. Good evening. Welcome you all to the Leadership Hour of FM2 Radio Chennai. Today, we are airing the 100th episode of the Leadership Hour talk show. And as per your wish, we are bringing a leader who has experimented a unique ideology among children to transform them into powerful leaders. We are extremely fortunate to have with us today a great personality from Toastmasters fraternity, who is a lawyer by profession, but her passion is to shape the personality of kids. A hearty welcome to Toastmaster Maithili. Thank you so much, Maithili ma'am, for sharing your valuable time with us. Ma'am, now can we hear from you about the Gavel Club?
Good afternoon, radio viewers. I'm really happy to be part of you on this special occasion. Gavel Club is part of Toastmasters International, wherein children below the age of 18 years develop their leadership and communication skill. And in every meeting, they give prepared speeches, they give impromptu speeches, and they also evaluate the prepared speeches. In short, the children themselves conduct the meeting under the supervision of a counselor who is usually a Toastmaster. And every child who steps on the stage as a speaker or as a role player is given an audience of about 25 children during the performance, besides the parents also. The meeting usually lasts for 2 hours. And Toastmasters International is very flexible as far as Gavel Club is concerned, that we get the liberty to introduce new roles like joke master, idiom master, greeter. We have storytelling session, we have a news reading session, we have a quiz master session, so on and so forth. These members are called as Gaveliers, and trust me when I say that after attending a few meetings, that confidence gains so much that they get ready to address any gathering without any stage fear. And Toastmasters International has given a scientifically structured program. As the children start performing all these projects, they get 4 certificates: competent communicator certificate, competent leadership certificate, advanced communicator bronze, advanced leader bronze. And these certificates will definitely help them during their interviews going forward. More than the certificates, the transformation we see in these children, they will always stand out in the crowd. I'm so happy to be part of these Gavel clubs, and I'm indeed very grateful to the Toastmasters International for providing a platform, wonderful platform for these kids with that specially structured program. Thank you, Toastmasters International. I take this occasion to recognize you too.
Thank you, ma'am, for that vivid explanation. Now we have an overall view about the Gavel Club. Moving on to our question. We heard that you are one of the pioneers who spearheaded the Gavel Club movement in Chennai. What was the motivation behind this initiative, ma'am?
Well, motivation, I would only quote my second child. Way back in 2015, she was a staunch introvert when she was 11 years old, in total contrast to my elder daughter, who was totally extrovert. So every summer vacation, myself and my second child, we get into some personality development course, which would run for 2-3 days, but it was actually not helpful. After starting this Gavel Club, I could see a sea change in her, that she went to the extent of getting the first place in the North Tamil Nadu Gavel contest on international speech. Today, I am finding it very difficult to stop her from speaking. So my dreams as a mother of one child has now turned me to dream for many children. Thank you, Gavel Club and the Toastmasters.
Ma'am, surprising to hear that your kid ignited your desire to start a Gavel Club. As compared to the Toastmasters Club, the Gavel Clubs are very few in number. There are few leaders who really took the baby steps to start a Gavel Club. What is the major challenge in starting and running a Gavel Club, ma'am?
Actually, starting a Gavel Club is very easy because the formalities are very less and the expenses are also very less. But running the Gavel Club with utmost quality in meetings is the real difficult problem, because training these children to perform on the stage and instill that confidence in them is a big challenge for us. Whenever I call for a roll call, they will enthusiastically say that, ma'am, I'll be the speaker, ma'am, I'll be the general evaluator, I'll be the Gavelier of the day, and you'll be so thrilled. But you call them on the day before the meeting, some will not pick up the call, and some would come forward to say, ma'am, I have a social exam on Monday, and so I'll not be able to attend the meeting. Ma'am, I have sore throat and fever, I'll not be able to attend the meeting. Ma'am, my family is going for a relative's function. Now, building all these roles again on a Gavelier within 24 hours will be a Herculean task for us. So the best way to handle this is to track them from day one they give the role play. Ask them daily whether they have done their speech, whether they have vetted their speech with their mentors, and also check whether they have rehearsed. This way, they will never back out. And you'll find a quality meeting and also the children brimming with confidence. That is the power of the Gavel Club. And that is the real challenge for the counselor to spend so much of time for all these children who are on the stage in the next meeting is what is really challenging.
Ma'am, now we understood the real challenge in running a Gavel Club. We all know that you are a passionate and committed Toastmaster of Wordsmith Club. Which one is close to your heart, Wordsmith or Gavel Club, ma'am?
You are actually pulling me. But with the permission of the Toastmasters Club, I would say that Gavel Club is more close to me, because being with the Gaveliers gives me a lot of motivation and inspiration. and a sort of feeling that you're shaping their future?
Thank you, ma'am. You answered this question by your heart. Moving on to the next. While you have spoken about your passion for Gavel Club, one thing we noticed is that you started 2 Gavel clubs in Chennai almost 3 years back. But after that, you have not started any new Gavel club. Does that mean you are contented with these 2 clubs or exasperated with these 2 clubs, ma'am?
Never exasperated at all. I would love to start as much Gavel Club as possible in Chennai, but the only constraint is the time for the counselors. And if Toastmasters come forward to run the Gavel Club, I will be the first person to bring in as many Gavel Clubs. In fact, I've written to the International Toastmasters International asking them to consider training these children for 1 year in the Gavel Club as one of the leadership project. And I'm sure that if it succeeds, many more Gavel clubs will be coming forward and many Toastmasters also will turn on the leadership side. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Ma'am, we are excited to hear that you are still pursuing to start more Gavel clubs in Chennai. And we learned a lot about Gavel Club from you, ma'am, today. Once again, on behalf of my listeners, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Maithili ma'am for joining us today. Thank you, listeners. Over to you, T. Modi.
Thank you, Sajid, Toastmaster Sajid, and thank you, Maithili ma'am, for walking us through both Gavel and Toastmasters. A vital few of Gavel's club, how to encourage children, everything was covered, well covered in your narration. Thank you about it. Speaker number 4, Toastmaster Mohan is there.
Hello.
Okay, I got the message. You didn't join. Shall we move to the next segment of the day, which is table topic segment, the second vital few of the meeting. To conduct table topic session, we have a special person named Toastmaster Arun Abraham. Arun ji, can you please share the slide? Yeah, he is the HR manager working for an automobile MNC company, and he's a HR profession who changes others' lives through his profession. And view on the theme is helps to prioritize and plan tasks better. I think he would be doing that on day-to-day basis with his to-do list. Thank you, Toastmaster Arun, for that great view on vital few. Please welcome on the dais to conduct table topic. Toastmaster Arun Abraham.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Happy.
Okay. Okay. It's a very pleasant evening, everyone, to all the Toastmasters present here online and as well as the guests. Wonderful weekend. It's a great role to play, actually. Why? The reason is because I don't have to speak much, but I have to give the topics for others to speak. So I have to speak less. So it's an enjoyable role. And it's the table topic session. It's where the tables turn. And to the benefit of our members and guests, let me give you a brief about table topic session. Objective of table topic session is to think and practice speaking on your feet, otherwise called as impromptu session. So you may ask, how is it useful for me as a person? When you are attending an interview, or if you are in a situation where you need to give a toast in a corporate party, or maybe if someone is asking you for an opinion, you can't tell them, give me a couple of days, let me prepare a speech and then come back to you. You need to deliver yourself there. You need to prove who you are there. So just to improve upon your skills to respond to others, table topic session is absolutely useful. And about the timings, table topic session speech should last a minimum of 1 minute for qualification. At 1 minute, timer will show green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, the timer will show yellow card. At 2 minutes, the timer will show red card. Beyond those 30 seconds, you can have that wrap up. And after that, any time which is taken will lead to disqualification. I request the members as well as the guests to give it a try. Now I will call it in this order. I will call the person's name and then I'll call out the topic and then again I'll call out the name. So first up we have Toastmaster Nikhil. Can we have Toastmaster Nikhil? Yes. Topic is what makes you happy?
Okay.
You can start now.
Yeah. A very good evening, Toastmasters and my dear friends, and a special good evening to my table topic master. I was having a conversation with my uncle, and I was asking, and we were having a conversation that I told I'm not so happy about my life. Like I don't get something, I don't get so many things that I expect to get. So life is not so favorable for me. I was telling like that, and my uncle told just one point. You are not happy because you are always expecting and you are concentrating on those things that you don't have. When you concentrate on the things that you have, when you realize the value of those things that you already have, you will be happy. That made me realize so many things. There are so many babies that are born blind and without any legs or eyes or deaf and dumb. In that way, I am happy and I am lucky. There are so many people who are not able to talk, but I am able to attend a Toastmasters meeting and I'm able to talk like this in a professional and a very fluent way. In that way, I'm lucky and happy. And if you start realizing the small happiness in your life, that is what is going to make you happy and live forever in a happy way, instead of concentrating and worrying about those things that you don't have. So be happy and let others happy. Thank you to the table topic master.
Thank you, Nikhil. That was very useful. And we'll move on to the next topic. Next Toastmaster, it would be for the guest. Can I have guest Toastmaster Anthony from the Mexican Club? Mr. Anthony?
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, here's the topic for you. What is the most sensible thing you have heard someone say? Let me repeat. What is the most sensible thing you ever heard someone say? And it made perfect sense to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Topics Master. I will actually answer that question in two ways. I'll tell you something that I heard today, which was not sensible. That was from our second speaker. See, our second speaker, he didn't like the concept of growing old. Well, if everybody could in the chat, while I'm giving my answer, I want you to write down how old you think I am. So as I'm giving my answer in the chat, write down how old you think I am. And I'll come back at the end to the unsensible words, the bad words of our second speaker, Sasi. So in terms of the most sensible thing I've ever heard, I started my life in Washington, D.C., but then post-divorce, post-depression, change of life, I moved from the East Coast of the US in Washington, D.C., all the way to San Francisco. And in San Francisco, I was introduced to the concept of innovation. This concept changed my life. I realized that one of the skills that God gave me was creativity. And in San Francisco, I realized that innovation is when you take creativity and you can add value to something. So it's not so much one word or one phrase that somebody's told me. It's what Silicon Valley taught me about innovation. For example, in my home club now, Mexican English Toastmasters Club, since we are all doing all of these leading meetings online, I created a position. The position is called the Online Master. What does the Online Master do? The Online Master does things like, for example, telling our Topics Master that it helps with all the technical tips. So for example, I might say, Topics Master Arun, you don't have to move the microphone next to your mouth when you speak, because then it sounds like you're spitting. Or I might say to Toastmasters Sage, the window behind you, the bright light coming in kind of hurts our eyes. So I looked at our Toastmasters meetings and I was able to say, how can I make these meetings better? How can I innovate them? And the way that I innovated them was I was able to create this new role that is now being used in different Toastmasters around the world. So I really think that this concept of being innovative is the most sensible thing and the best thing that I ever heard. Now I noticed inside the chats that people said, one said 45, 37 to 40. That's normally what I get, 37 to 40. I'm 51 years old, 51. And I'm happy about my age. And you can call me uncle all you want, because I feel awesome about who I am. And I am proud of my age. I am proud of how good I look, and I'm proud of everything that I do. So the least sensible thing I heard today was having one of your members being afraid of being called uncle. Be proud of being an awesome uncle.
Well, that's an awesome uncle we got there. I think we can all be proud of how old we are. Blessed to be at a different age. And my next topic will also be for the guest. To Miss Delifia.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Which activities make you lose track of time? Let me repeat the topic. Which activities make you lose track of time? It could be writing, reading, jogging. Is it audible?
There are many answers for this question. And if I have to choose one, I will say reading. To be honest, reading. Good evening, Toastmasters members and guests. I think there are many options to answer this question, but reading for me is the best. Because when you're reading, you have, for example, you have the opportunity to create ideas in your mind. They're only words and letters, but in my mind could be many things. I'm just reading what the writer said, but also I can imagine what was happening in that story. And also after reading, I can share with someone else about this thing, this book, that I read. And I remember a friend who told me, like, this is another way to meet a person. When you're reading something and you can share the idea, your opinion, your message, that's an opportunity to meet someone in a better way. And also, we can create like reading clubs, like you have the opportunity to read and share, and also you can have a different idea. There's many ways to innovate, to create something new in a different way. So for example, I'm reading with a group and we have to decide what is going to be the next book that we're going to read. And in this case, there's always like a big problem. I want to read this book and someone else said, no, I think this one is better. And you have to fight and defend what is going to be the next book. Sometimes it's something just a few pages, and sometimes it's like, wow, a big book. And it's amazing because I remember when I met someone, I always ask him or ask her, what is your favorite book? And it's another way to meet someone, is you have the opportunity to share different ideas. And I encourage you to read more and share what you read. That's Master.
Thank you, Ms. Delifia. I think that was quite a way to run your time over. Next, we have Toastmaster Ms. Sasikala. Can I have Miss Toastmaster Miss Sasikumar?
Yes, Toastmaster, I'm here.
Okay. I have a table topic for you.
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for? Health, knowledge. It could be anything.
Okay, thank you. So I think it ranges from the things that we are grateful for. It ranges from the air we breathe and the water we drink. Everything, it takes over everything. You know, it's of course like when we look into what we have and or what we usually go through and what we think in our mind. Sometimes we tend to think looking at others, okay, we may want to achieve this, we may want to go ahead and do that, and maybe like we are still falling behind, we have not yet gone into the pathways, we have not done the so many speeches as others do. So this is one thing which you always keep evaluating, but then yes, what you're doing is, you have to understand what you're doing is the best you can at this moment. And I think we all should be grateful for what we have, and we should be thankful to those things that we have in our lives, and feel content at the same time, not to stop the planning and to evaluate what we can do next in that moment. And that's it from my end.
Thank you. Thank you for your views on that. And now let me move on to the next person. And we have Toastmaster Mr. Armugam.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the best gift that you have? Toastmaster Armugam, what is the best gift that you have?
Okay. Good evening, Toastmaster and Gus. What is the best gift I have? That life itself, best gift for me, and particularly in my family. I have 2 daughters and good wife and beautiful wife. These are the best gift in my life. And whatever that in a current scenario, we have a good home, and we are taking almost that's also one of the best gifts I got it. In a almost in a current scenario, more than 70% of the population struggling for day-to-day their life, particularly in this COVID situation. But this we cannot. Their gift, particularly they are struggling for their daily bread and everything. But God has to think. God has to give us some gift for that 70% of the population to change the in this calamity, to give a normal position. And particularly the gift every human being is having, but the gift will be differ from person to person. In my gift, I have a good family. That is my best gift in my life. Over to TT Master.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. And next we can have Toastmaster Sangeeta. Ms. Sangeeta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Master.
Who is your role model and which attribute you would like to follow from them?
My role model, I can say the role model at times differs from good evening Toastmasters guests and the table topic master. So for me, the role model always differs. Like during my childhood, I took my father as my role model. I love his determination, commitment towards his work. He normally we will not find him during the weekdays because he spends most of his time at the office and he returns very late. So that commitment towards the work, and he always says that we need to give your fullest to the work or the job which we do. So then, after going to college, the professor who gave I took my professor as my role model, and after joining Toastmasters, here there are so many role models. Michael ma'am, Rajiv sir. So there are so many role models, and there are we need to learn so many things from the people around us. So why can't we fix one and go ahead? So there are so many learnings, so many takeaways from all these role models around us. Thanks for the Toastmasters Forum fraternity to have the and wonderful opportunity for so many learnings. Thank you. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. That was wonderful that we all have role models to learn from. And next one we have Toastmaster Shruti.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is your favorite quote and tell us about it? It could be from anything, even it could be from a TV series or anything else. Give us your favorite quote and tell us about it.
So good evening to everyone once again. This is more like a saying rather a quote. Recently, I reread the book, one of my favorite book, The Alchemist, wherein the author quotes this: if you want to achieve anything in this world, the entire universe will conspire with you to help you achieve it. There is a wonderful saying and it has got a deep meaning. And every time I listen to this, it gives me it makes me feel like everybody's life, and in specific, my life has a huge purpose to it. And believing in oneself to achieve whatever we aim for is very much important, is what this quote reflects. So this is my favorite quote, and every time I often ask myself once in a while when there is a break, maybe after 3 or 4 months, I ask myself, what do I really want and am I working towards it? So this quote not just is something that I like, but it really inspires me. And whatever happens in one's life, every small act, for example, me taking up this presidential role of Chennai Wordsmiths Club, that itself adds on to the quote. Not that I believed I'd be doing this well, but today I believe that it is possible to do, and many others supported me as well. So it has really kept me inspiring and kept me going. So this has been my recent and all-time favorite quote. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Ms. Shruti. Thank you for the wonderful quote. And it is also a great book as well. I think so many of us are agreeing to it in this comment here. Okay, let me, before closing the session, I just want to express my gratitude to 2 or 3 people who are part of Toastmasters when I first attended the meeting. My first experience was there then VP membership. I think Ms. Toastmaster Maithili was there. And Maithili ma'am, I think she took down my name and gave it to then Toastmaster Rohit. So it was a wonderful experience. I started the Toastmaster journey with that particular table topic on that particular day. So I must thank Ms. Maithili and as well as Ms. Shruti who were there on that day, who must have given my name to Rohit, the table topic master. I think I did quite well the other day, and I was quite confident that I could go from there on. So thank you for this opportunity as well. And I'm sure I'll be able to do much more roles in future as well. And you guys have been quite a lively, challenging experience that you have given me here. So hopefully next time we'll meet as well. Thank you. Over to Tabletop Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. That was a wonderful TT session, Toastmaster Arun Abraham. Thank you for conducting that. A lot of vital views on the table from the participants. So thanks for that. A lot of key takeaways. With that, we missed one speech. In the prepared speech, speaker encountered some issues in terms of IT, I mean networking issues. So he is back right now. We are going to do that speech right now. We are going, Toastmaster Mohan is the speaker who is going to perform his speech. Mohan is a level-headed IT professional and really a great silent Toastmaster of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters. And before inviting Mohan on the desk, I would like to invite DTM Zakaria to repeat the objectives which I did. When I checked with him the theme, he said vital few. He said vital few only stay in the Toastmasters above 70 years. All the trivial many leave Toastmaster. He is 70 plus, I believe. So he made that statement on vital fews. DTM Zakaria, please take over and explain about the objectives.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir,
Feedback?
audible.
Yeah.
Audible.
If it is indispensable, I will repeat the objectives again.
Absolutely, sir. For the sake of
objectives for the street: develop an entertaining, dramatic talk about an experience or incident. Include vivid imaginary characters and dialogue. Deliver the talk in an entertaining manner. Time 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Zach, sir. Toastmaster Mohan, the sacrifice. Toastmaster Mohan.
Able to hear me?
Yes.
Life is full of opportunities. If you want to make the opportunities into reality, then we need to sacrifice it. Sacrifice something what you can so that you can achieve it. Sacrifice is something you need to give better to get something good. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. There was a boy and a mother. Mother is having only one eye. The family was really poor. And they want to run this routine. I mean, she needs to go for a job on a daily basis to run his routine life. But his mother want his son to get good education. So she collects some money, whatever she's daily earning. And she was very happy and cheerful with the little boy. One day, there was an elementary school, a field day. At the time, she went and participated in the event. At the time, the students are in a crowd. They're making fun of her by seeing an ugly face. The boy was so embarrassed on that. He was crying and coming to the house. And he saw his mother and said, "Why did you do this one? Who told you to come to the school? I never told you to come to the school." I just ignored and went out of this house. Next day, he went to the school. Each one of them talking about his mother's one eye and ugly face. He buried himself. He doesn't want to hear about it. He wants his mother to disappear from this world. He went with that anger straight to his mother and confronted, "If you're going to be a laughing stock for me, better you die." Mother never responded anything, and she didn't hear. She did not look after or listen to his words. But he knows that his son is very angry. His son may have very bad. It hurt her very badly. His son started reading very hard, and he got a scholarship in abroad, and he got a job, and he also married, and he's got a kid also, and he's running a happy life. We feel that he's a successful man in the world, where he is the place where he doesn't remember his mother. One day, someone is knocking the door, an unexpected guest. This is mother with one eye. His daughter went to the door and opened the door. By seeing her, she scared and ran away. He saw his mother immediately. He said, Who are you? I don't know who are you. He himself acted that as a real. He screamed to her, how dare you make my son, my daughter so scared? Get out from this place. Mother said, I'm sorry. I says I come to the wrong place. And she disappeared. On a day where he is attending a school reunion, where invitation has come to his house, and he has joined us the invitation. After the reunion, he just wanted just a curiosity. He wanted to see his home. But the neighbor said, your mother died. And they gave him the letter that mother wants to give it to him. The letter says, my son, I think you all the time. I'm really sorry that I came to your house and scared your daughter. I missed you so much. And I'm so happy that you're going to come for this school reunion. But I could not able to come and see you. I'm really sorry. Every moment I'm embracing you when you grew up. When you were a kid, you were met with an accident. At the time, your one eye, you lost it. As a mother, I could not able to see my son seeing the entire world when he grew up with one eye. So I give him eyes. I'm more happy, glad that my son is seeing the entire world for me in my place in that eye. Whatever you did for me, I'm never upset. I know a couple of times you hated me and shouted to me, but I believe, sons, that you love me a lot. That's the reason you're doing it. When you're a kid, you're with me. I was so happy and enjoyed with you. I love you so much. The world is, without you is nothing. You are the world for me. By reading this, the son cried, shouted and cried to know the entire universe for listening it, but no one has listened. His mother also is there not to listen. Never ever disrespect any one of them in this case of disabilities. Never underestimate the sacrifice of your parents. Whatever they do, you cannot able to repay it. What we have been indispensable. Love, respect, and the time to be with them. Sacrifice your happiness for the one you love. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mohan. Thank you for that wonderful speech. And now we are moving into the third segment, evaluation segment. To conduct that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Arun on the stage. Please vote for best speakers and best table topic speakers as well as prepared speakers. In the meantime.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Am I audible?
Why Table Topics Master?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Am I audible?
Yes, exactly. Absolutely, yeah.
Now I'm back for the important session of the today's meeting, the evaluation session. We had 4 wonderful speeches today, and the evaluators are all geared up to provide constructive feedback to each of these speeches, applauding the positives in the speech and giving some recommendations which they think will make the speech go that extra mile, as well as the speaker to become an excellent communicator. The first speech given by Toastmaster Anusha about affiliative leadership will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sujata, who believes in the principle of take life as it comes and live the moment. She feels that shredding the ego is vital for throwing many trivial and unpleasant behaviors like anger, angst, envy, and frustration. On this note, shall I now call Toastmaster Sujata, Evaluator 1. Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Sujata, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. Toastmaster Anusha, my target speaker, firstly, congratulations on completing level 1 and embarking on a journey for level 2. All the best. Toastmaster Anusha, to tell you the truth, it was a tough job to evaluate your speech, as I always admire your speech and get carried away by your presentation. Today, your speech did not fall short of any of my expectations as against the previous speeches, I must say. You created a good connect with audience as soon as you started by narrating that thrilling narrow escape accident. You emotionally hooked people by stating those two events, the accident and that missed IIM admission. Your gestures and expressions, needless to talk about. It was exemplary. Anusha, you don't need an R counter. Where are those so-called filler words? Awesome. If I have to tell you a few points that you can work on, Toastmaster Anusha, you could have improved on the content of the speech, I would say. Your project is about explaining your leadership style. You have picked up 2 incidents, and those 2 incidents went a bit longer compared to the explanation on the salient features of the leadership style. You could have explained how your dad or you applied emotional intelligence or EQ by standing on the other person's shoes. You mentioned about the confidence that you and your dad gave in those 2 situations. But affiliative leadership style is about applying emotional intelligence while leading. So also, a compare against another leadership style, which is startlingly different. For example, in this case, you could have picked up an autocratic or authoritarian style that could have helped the audience to better understand the leadership style that you're talking about. Overall, Toastmaster Anusha, it was a great delivery with all required elements of a good presentation. Well done. Back to you, Toastmaster Arvind.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujata, for that evaluation. The second speech given by Toastmaster Arun Kumar, which was a really humorous speech on the word which will soon be removed from the Oxford Dictionary, uncle and auntie. That speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sasikumar, who is a mechanical engineer working for an oil company. When asked about the theme, he said that there are several things to work up. When there are several things to work upon, we must learn to prioritize the trivial, the vital over the trivial, to gain a leading edge and to prosper. On this note, I shall now call Toastmaster Sasikumar, Evaluator 2. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Sasikumar, the screen is all yours.
Respected General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, I'm going to evaluate a 5-letter word humorous speech, Young, of Toastmaster Arun Kumar's, with a 5-letter word evaluation, Uncle, UNCLE, Uncle. So in Uncle, U stands for universal experience. A good humorous speech should appeal to the universal audience and universal experience. It should not target to a specific section of people or a specific geography of people. So the subject, the context, what you took on aging gracefully or the side effects of aging is something I believe, I strongly believe every one of us must have touched upon in some point of life, and that is definitely a vital view of your speech, Toastmaster Arun Kumar. In Uncle, N stands for non-verbal communication, that is body language. I strongly believe body language is such a vital tool for any speech, and it comes as more vital into a humorous speech. I thought you had very decent body language, all other gestures, expression, but what I felt was the earphone with cord, what you carried during the speech has limited you on some instance, and because of that, you are not liberal to go ahead with your hands and expressions. So that can be one of the recommendation to correct and make this speech a better one. In Uncle, C stands for comfort level and clarity. Given the fact that you are attempting this humorous speech first time, the clarity and the comfort level you brought into the speech was phenomenal, extraordinary. Whenever you cracked a joke or kind of explaining a situation, you are fantastically comfortable, and that is one of the vital few, which has in fact gone very well into the L part of Uncle, which is the laugh. After all, we all expect to laugh and have some fun from a humorous speech, isn't it? And I was not at all disappointed, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, the kind of laugh you evoked in me and I believe into the audience. I liked many of your jokes. To be very specific, the struggle you had to convince an young, beautiful guest to call you as uncle rather than call you as a Toastmaster rather than calling you as an uncle. That was fantastically done. The reference what you made with DTM Abraham Zach really tickled my funny bones. Hats off, and that's definitely a vital view of your speech. And coming to the last one, E in the uncle, it's nothing but the entertainment quotient. I strongly believe a humorous speech should also be entertaining, and I felt entertainment quotient was a bit lagging because you don't have a story in that. It was all of your experience and analysis. So if you had a better story in that, that could have worked definitely better. And the E part, to summarize, you had very good universal experience, comfort level, and last, maybe if you can work out on non-verbal and entertainment quotient, this fight can go to the next level. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sasikumar. The third speech given by Toastmaster Maithili on about the wonderful description of her brainchild, which is the Gavel Club, as she established not one, but 2 Gavel Clubs in Chennai. And that speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, who dons many hats: speaker, singer, corporate trainer, and a one-on-one coach on effective English, and does each job to perfection. When asked about the theme, he said, and I quote him, "Be happy with 20% and not worry too much on 80%. On this note, I shall now call upon Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, Evaluator 3. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, the stage is now yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I was privileged to listen to a radio talk show delivered by Toastmaster Maithili, which I would brand it amazing, genuine, and she spoke from heart. To give away a few vital, I would say, mantras, one among such is, quality gives confidence to the children. And the quality is inculcated in Cavalier Toastmasters class. Wonderfully done. Let's applaud Toastmaster Maithili. In line with the objectives, what I like most are, number one, the topic selection. She brought out a topic which is quite relevant to the audience, which is Toastmasters, with a strong message with that whatever the Gabaliers Club, opening the Gabaliers Club will make every Toastmaster feel that their kids to be put on the Gabaliers Club. Wonderful. She aptly pointed out as to what are the benefits the Gabaliers would take home in terms of communication and leadership style, and ultimately achieve their future goals. Wonderfully. This radio talk show facilitates voice modulation, appropriate voice modulation. How she applied it, one such instance I want to bring it. She said, "I am a proud mother and I am happy to be a Cavalier counselor. I saw the real happiness in your face." On the question and answer session, she opted to have Toastmasters Sajid, who has played an amazing role as a host, posing thought-provoking questions, I would say. Audience, you would you will definitely agree with me. On one question as to what motivated to bring in Gavalier's club, she diplomatically answered to bring in utmost quality of the children, and she pointed out her second child. She was introvert and made a champion, I would say, and instilled the confidence. Openly, she smilingly disclosed in a statement that Gavel Club is her first choice than the adult clubs, which is Toastmasters, Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters. In conclusion, she had a call for action to every Toastmaster that for the Herculean task in running the club and making their children to become cavaliers. Else, it was a good job done by Toastmaster Michaeli. Only one recommendation, which I would say, energy was little lower. Had you exhibited more energy, definitely this will be the greatest one. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran. The fourth speech given by Toastmaster Mohan about the indispensable person in our life, our mother, will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Zakaria, who is fondly known as the father of Chennai Wordsmiths and the founder of this wonderful club that we all are part of. He is a chartered member of Chennai Wordsmiths and the first Toastmaster of Tamil Nadu. On this note, shall I now call upon distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Zakaria, Evaluator 4? Evaluator 4, distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Zakaria, the screen is all yours.
Thank you. Am I audible? This is a regular question. Indispensable question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, good evening. It's a very, very touching story, well narrated, from a poor boy becoming a very high-profile executive. And it was narrated so well that most of us would have had tears in our eyes. Schoolboy, and one day his mother came there, he had a problem. It was very embarrassing for him to see that this ugly face of his mother seen by others. Again, when he become an executive, her visit to his place, all this is well narrated, well crafted so that we could visualize, vivid picture was given about all this. And finally, he attends the reunion where he understood that mother is no more and visited the house and got that letter where she said that it was my eyes that you are seeing. Well narrated. It's an excellent story. I must say this sacrifice is the ideal caption for this speech also. Very good. And to make this project more challenging or more presentable, I have a suggestion. The opening should have been started with an incident that is firing his mother or at the school or when visiting his house or something. That would have been more appropriate rather than saying, I'm going to say this is a story. That is one thing. Secondly, and the most important part is that this manual required that you have to entertain the audience, or it was entertaining speech. So entertainment was part and parcel of indispensable in this speech, which was missing. Probably this could have been used for something else. And I must say, I really enjoyed the story. This story had a very thought-provoking message. I enjoyed the story. All the best, Toastmaster Mohan.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Zakaria. This brings us to the end of the evaluation of the prepared speeches. Now it's time for the tag team to present their reports. First, I'll call upon the timer of today's meeting, Toastmaster Abishek, to give the timer's report.
Once again, a very good evening to my dear wordsmiths. So here I am to present my timer's report. Extremely sorry. meeting started on time and the essay Toastmaster Nikhil took 1 minute 27 seconds. Presiding officers took 5 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Balamurugan took 3 minutes and 53 seconds. G introduction and the tag team introduction on a whole took 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And I'm very happy to say that these are in line with what we planned in our agenda. On the prepared speech segment, speaker number 1, Toastmaster Anusha took 6 minutes and 46 seconds. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Arun Kumar took 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Speaker number 3, Toastmaster Mohan Kumar took 5 minutes 19 seconds. Speaker number 4, Toastmaster Maithili took 8 minutes and 29 seconds and her time was 6 minutes to 8 minutes. On the table topic segment, table topic speaker number 1, Toastmaster Nikhil took 1 minute and 28 seconds. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Anthony took 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Speaker number 3, Toastmaster Delifia took 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Hope I pronounced the name properly. If not, apologize me. Speaker number 4, Toastmaster Sasikumar took 1 minute and 26 seconds. Speaker number 5, Toastmaster Arun took 1 minute and 22 seconds. Speaker number 6, Toastmaster Sangeeta took 1 minute and 51 seconds. And last, Toastmaster Shruti took 1 minute and 36 seconds. On the evaluation part, Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Sujata took 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Sasikumar took 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Evaluator 3, DTM Abraham Zakaria took 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And Evaluator 4, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran took 3 minutes and 7 seconds. And that's end of my timeout report. And over to G. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abishek. Now I would like to call the counter of today's meeting, Toastmaster Aishwarya, on the screen to give her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. I am here to present our counter's report. Coming to the prepared speech segment, the first speaker, Toastmaster Anusha, used 1 filler word. The second speaker, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, used 5 filler words and 1 repetitive word. Toastmaster Mohan used 3 filler words and 3 repetitive words. And Toastmaster Maithili used 5 filler words and 1 pause. Coming to the table topic segment, the first speaker, Toastmaster Nikhil, used 5 filler words. Toastmaster Anthony used 7 filler words. Toastmaster Delifia used 6 filler words. Toastmaster Sasikala used 6 filler words and 2 pause. Toastmaster Arumugam used 2 filler words and 1 repetitive word. Toastmaster Sangeeta used 2 filler words and 1 repetitive words. Toastmaster Shruti used 5 filler words and 1 pause. Coming to the evaluation segment, Toastmaster Sujata used 1 filler word. Toastmaster Sasikumar used 4 filler words and 1 repetitive word. Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran used 1 filler word and 2 repetitive words. And Distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Zakaria used 2 filler words. That's all from my side. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster, Arun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aishwarya, for that report. And last but not the least, I would like to call the grammarian for the meeting, Distinguished Toastmaster Arun Sridhar, to give his report.
Thanks, Arvind. The theme of the day was called out thrice, once by the TMOD, once by the evaluators Paul Bhaskaran and by Sasi. Thanks for that. And the word of the day was used twice by the Toastmaster of the day and once by Zach. That's the minimal usage of the word and the theme of the day. In terms of usage that could be improved, one I observed was highest standard of leadership can be obtained, could be pronounced as highest standard of leadership can be exhibited, perhaps. And someone said 69 years of old, it should be 69 years of age. Then if you're going to be a laughing stock of me, I guess the usage there is, if you're going to make a laughing stock of me, then please better disappear. If I mispronounced your name, apologize me. I guess the usage there was, if I mispronounced your name, please excuse me. good usage, I guess, is today the evaluators had very good usage. Sujata had cleverly hooked the audience, salient features of leadership, compare and contrast with the next speaker. That was good. And Paul Bhaskaran had thought-provoking questions, instill the confidence, and so on. So that was good usage by the evaluators. With that, I'd like to hand back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Arun Sridhar. Now, this announces the end of the tag team report. All the members present here, please vote using the meeting link given in the chat box as well as probably in the WhatsApp group as well. Now, coming to the general evaluators report, we started the meeting on time, on sharp 4 p.m. And the primary reason for it is that all the role players were present on time. Second, the quality of each session was good as usual, as we had 4 prepared speeches, 7 table topics, and 4 evaluations for the prepared speeches. And it's quite pleasing to see Toastmasters from other countries. We had 2 Toastmasters from Mexico here, Toastmaster Anthony and Toastmaster Delifia. We are pleased to have you here. Now coming to the recommendations about the flow of the meeting, as one of the speaker had a connectivity issue which was quite unavoidable, but this could be improved, and it was beautifully managed by our beloved VP at Toastmaster Arun Kumar. And coming to the number of speakers, on Monday there were 6 speakers to be 6 speeches to be presented. On Tuesday it became 5, and on Friday it became 4. So maybe this could be avoided. And the table topics could be about the theme of the day, as it might be relevant to the current meeting. And last but not the least, as far as possible, keep your video on, as it might give a live presence, the presence of an offline meeting in an online meeting. That's all from here as a general evaluator. Thank you for this opportunity, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Arvind, for conducting a wonderful evaluation segment, which is indispensable in any of the Toastmasters meeting. Thank you about it, and thanks for this opportunity to share vital views and trivial many. I would like to conclude, please apply this principle in each and every aspects of your life, whether it is an entertainment, enlightenment, or whatever it is. Please apply in your profession. Come up with flying colors. Wishing you all the best. Thank you. And handing over this session meeting to the President, Surudi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balamurugan. I hope we had a good session today. Quality meeting and everything was on time. So that is something great, and kudos to everyone on that. So now let's hear it from the guest. Let me take feedback. So Toastmaster Anthony, could you express or give a feedback on how you enjoyed today's meeting?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I really enjoyed the quality of each of the presentations. I learned things, I laughed, I thought deeply. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Sasi for his evaluation. That technique is an advanced technique that is very rarely used. And I'm a district champion in District 34 for evaluations. And the ability to quickly listen to and create a skeleton for your evaluation that matches the speech is a talent that is very rare. And it was awesome. And I love that uncle analogy. Yes, most definitely. So I definitely enjoyed being here. I'm going to try to come back if I can. And just thank you for allowing me to come to the meeting and learning so much in these past 2 hours.
Thank you. We're glad that you enjoyed the meeting, sir. Can I hear feedback from guest Radha?
Hi everyone. Thank you. It's a very wonderful experience. It is eye-opening session for me. This is the first session I have been part of a Toastmaster, though I have dreamt to be part of this so from very long. And I can see very experienced people. I think there is a more to learn from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, and do keep attending our sessions. Can I also hear it from Toastmaster Delifia?
Yes, thank you. Anthony told me about this session, and I think it was very great session. I enjoy it, and I liked the organization that you have during the whole session. And the timer report, I think is very useful that everyone can see the times. And also for evaluators. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. So I have a couple of announcements for today, and let me share my screen. So today is the last date for giving your nomination to our immediate past president, Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan. So we have the elections, our club elections next week. If any of you are willing to be a part of the executive committee team, kindly do nominate yourself. Send a mail to Toastmaster Gopal regarding the same, post which you will be interviewed. So if you're really interested, go for it. And as you know, the roles are for the president, vice president education, vice president membership, vice president public relations, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms. So those who are willing, kindly nominate, because today is the last date. By 11:59 p.m. today, kindly do it. And the next announcement is next week we have our elections. So do not miss the elections, even if you're not standing for any specific post or role. Kindly do come in and support whoever is eagerly waiting to be a part of the XCOM team, and be there to congratulate and welcome the new XCOM team as well. So block your calendars and do be available for the next meeting. So this is the major announcement that I have today for our members. Yes, and it is now time to know who has performed the best. So let's have the certificates now. So the best role player is Toastmaster Balamurugan. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you.
And the best tag player is our timer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Abishek. Congratulations, Abishek.
Thank you all.
And next we have the best evaluator, Toastmaster Sasikumar. Congratulations, sir. And the best speaker, Toastmaster Arun Kumar. Congratulations. And best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Delifia. Congratulations. So that marks the end of our meeting. And with that, I adjourn today's meeting. One second. Yes. Thank you all very much. And we can have 10 minutes of networking session.
Photo session, please.
Yes, first we should have photo session. The host, Abishek or Arun, can you just take a screenshot of the same? Yeah.
Maybe thumbs up.
Yes, sir. Sure.
But he was giving a
Actually,
title of the stage, thumbs up, 7 up, never give up.
Arun, we got the pick right. So it is great to see Toastmaster Anthony